I do recommend the... Hey guys, this is JP's LEGO Reviews. Today, I'm going to be comparing the LEGO Technic McLaren 1 set to the Bugatti Chiron set. Now, I'm going to be comparing their displayability, how realistic they both are, their value proposition, the building experiences of both of these sets, and then the functions in both of these Technic sets. So, let's break it down. Now, when it comes to displayability, I have to give these two a tie. And the reason why is because they're both pretty much equally as displayable. The McLaren looks fantastic on display, and so does the Chiron. They both look brilliant on display. LEGO have done an excellent job with both of these. They both look like very interesting LEGO cars. And yeah, LEGO have done a very good job at making these sets look good. Now, let's move on to the realism of these sets. Now, when it comes to how realistic these two sets are, I have to give them a tie again. And the reason why is they're both not perfectly realistic. Now, the Bugatti has their front lid looking pretty weird, and the McLaren has the cockpit area not looking really realistic at all. Plus, the wheels are a bit funny on the McLaren, and with the Bugatti, obviously, with the strips representing the door shape, it obviously doesn't look perfect. But with both of these sets, they are equally realistic in just how they look, and they both are very realistic LEGO Technic sets that you can buy today. They're far worse looking and far more unrealistic LEGO Technic sets that LEGO sell. Now, let's move on to the value proposition of these sets. Now, in Australia, you will pay $300 for the McLaren and $600 for the Bugatti. So, the Bugatti is twice as expensive as the McLaren. But which one has a better value? Well, I have to give it to the Bugatti, and the reason why is because of the experience factor of the set. Now, the Bugatti by itself, you wouldn't really call it double the value because it's the same sort of size, but what you get inside really is what I would call double the value of a McLaren. There's far more things you can do with it. It's a far richer experience, and there's a lot of enjoyment you get out of building the Bugatti, and it is worth, in my opinion, spending double the money to get the Bugatti versus the McLaren, because the Bugatti is not a shell. Meanwhile, the McLaren might as well just be a glorified shell, because that's basically what it is. But I'll actually talk about what I just said in these later categories. So let's move on to the building experience of the sets. Now, out of these two sets, the Bugatti has a far better building experience. And the reason why is because you get to build a lot more functions. Firstly, the size of the engine is over 2.5 times larger than the McLaren. The McLaren has a V6, the Bugatti has a V16. Also, you get to build gear shifting systems, you get to build transmission, and you also just get to not just build the functions of the Bugatti, like there's heaps of functions, but also the shell and the way that the exterior comes together is far more interesting and far more intricate than the McLaren. And the Bugatti simply provides a richer building experience than the McLaren. And in my opinion, the McLaren's build, even though it's a very large build, it's quite hollow and it doesn't really have much to it. It doesn't have substance. Meanwhile, the Bugatti has a lot of substance in its build. Now, let's move on to the functions of these sets. Now, with functionality, the winner again is the Bugatti. There's just more you can do. In the McLaren, the engine rolls, you can steer it, and there's suspension. That's pretty much it with more complex functionality. Meanwhile, the Bugatti can do all that. But then you can change gears. You can change it from drive to park or to neutral to reverse. And it actually affects the way the pistons move. There's also gear shifting selectors where the engine will spin faster if you change the gears, and it just has a lot more things you can play around with too, like opening the tail, not the tail but the wing, opening the front area of the car. There's just a lot more you can actually play around and do with the Bugatti. So it wins on function simply because there's just more functions in the set. Now, let's move on to my final thoughts on these two sets. Now, I have to say, these two Lego cars are fantastic. They both are brilliantly built. They look really good on display. And they both offer something different, which I like about these two sets, because they offer a different experience for, well, you. But which one would I recommend? Well, the score kind of says it for itself with the Bugatti Chiron. And if you have to get one of two of these, and if you've never bought a Lego car before, I do recommend the Bugatti Chiron. You get to experience the full experience of building a Lego car. There's nothing that's a step down compared to another set that you could have potentially bought. This set has literally everything Lego could possibly pack into a Lego car sort of model. Meanwhile, with the McLaren, it looks fantastic on a display, and it's a Formula 1 car, which is really unique, but the functions aren't quite as there, and the building experience, frankly, isn't quite there compared to the Bugatti Chiron. So if there's one Lego set I have to recommend out of these two, it is the Bugatti, simply because even though you're paying double the money, you're getting a very sort of rich, and you're getting a very sort of, you're getting a very special experience. And it's not an experience you'll even experience with Lego Star Wars UCS sets, for example. Like, it's a properly special experience to build one of these supercars. Now, let me know down below what your favorite Lego model is here, and if you enjoyed the video, please smash the like button. If you want to see more content just like this, then please subscribe. I hope you all have a brilliant day and keep building.